There's two type of women in a man's life. It's the one that tears him down, and it's the one that builds him up. The two outcomes. The one that tears you down, it can set you back 5 years. If you have a child with them, it can feel like it sets you back way longer than that. If you have a good one, and a supportive woman, and a loyal woman, this could propel you forward. In 2 years, with them, you can make 5 years progress. I mean, it's exponential. Two people working towards the same goal, it's like a cheat code. It's like you can get somewhere way faster than even possible. Now, I'm in a relationship right now myself where it's the best relationship I've ever had. Doesn't mean it's, perfect every day, but the good times outshine the bad tenfold. I mean, it's insane. Like we argue about things less than 1% of the time, and we actually work on things. Like, we communicate things. If we have a problem, we talk about it and we work through it. And I make sure that even if I'm upset about something, it's not to break her down. It's to try and help her understand, and it's vice versa. Like, we have love behind it. Like, we're not trying to ever make a disagreement and not be able to go to sleep and still know we love each other. It's like we try to work through it and actually make it to where in the future we set up things that we can do to where it's like we're going to work through future problems better than we did the first time. So keep this in mind when you're picking somebody. I had to get sober. I prayed to God. I did all the right things, and I got blessed and found my wife, and we've been together over 3 years now, and we've been married over a year now, and it's the best thing I could have ever done. Even when we first got married, it was almost something that it was kind of scary for me in a sense, because it's I knew she was the right one, but it's almost like the past bad relationships I've had, it's almost like it was making me scared about the situation, even though I knew. It's I came down and realized, I'm look, I can't let past situations determine my future relationship, the choices I make. So don't let a past relationship help make choices in your current relationship. If you have trust issues, if you're scared of stuff, work through it. Don't put that onto your new relationship, or you're gonna basically sabotage your good relationship. I see it happen all the time, especially with women that are traumatized. I mean, it goes for both. I'm not trying to say, oh, it's only women that this happens with, but I see it a lot where women have a horrible relationship and a guy treats them super bad, and then they get a good guy, and then it's they don't know what to do with the good guy. They just have so many resentments, and they're basically just holding back instead of allowing themselves to be transparent, because they're just holding walls up basically. And it goes for guys too. I mean, in ways I feel I had walls up at times, and it's it took me a couple years before I was okay, I'm it takes 2 years before you really know somebody. I mean, that's the God's honest truth. So I'm happy the timeline that me and my wife did things. It wasn't overly pushy on either side, where it's oh, we have to get married. We watched this show together, 90 Day Fiance. It's a pretty funny show if you've never watched it. And it's just crazy to me that these people are trying to decide if they can be with somebody for the rest of their life in 90 days. I mean, that's not possible. You're not gonna know this person. Even if it's, let's say, love at first sight. I mean, I'm not saying it can't work out. It's just if you're being logical about the situation and being analytical and really thinking about it logically, it's take your time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If you find somebody, hold on to that. Do things correctly. Take your time with it. Don't just try to sleep with them the first night. It took us a while before we got to that point, and it's at a point in time I was man, I wish things would progress quicker. But looking back on it, I'm thankful in the timeline that everything happened, because like you value things a lot more that you have to wait for and work for. I mean, that's just the God's honest truth. And you know, if a girl's gonna give it up to you within the first night or the third date, it's like, you know, how many other guys has she done that with? Like, if you really, like, my wife respected herself, like, and that's something I absolutely admire about her. She respected herself, and that's something I don't think I ever got from any other woman. That's why it's like that's why I'm married to her. Like, she took herself serious, I took her serious, and I love her to death. And I just pray and hope that all you guys can find that out there, men or women. Like, but you have to do the right things for yourself to get put in the right situation. You're not gonna, you know how hard it would be to find your forever person at a bar. I mean, you've really got to think about things. I mean, you're not going to go to a party and probably have sex with somebody the first night and think that they're going to be with you forever and this is going to work out. That's not logical. I mean, you have to do what makes sense and what's logical and think about it and do things right. Take care of yourself. You have to have your life together to be able to add to your life, especially to be able to bring two people together into one. That's a huge, huge accomplishment, and it's also a huge risk. So be smart, you guys. Say your prayers. Have correct habits. Go to the gym, work out, pray to God at night. Make sure that everything's in check in your life so you can get to that next step and actually progress your life and get to the point where you can bring two people together and make yourself as one. Peace and love.